Evening. All right, carrying on from yesterday's video. It may have been yesterday's. Who knows what order these things end up in. But it was where I called Kane Spiro, the overlord of PC, and I guess as he thinks he is, I called him the Mule. Now, if you want to know what this means, well, if you don't know what this means, let me explain. Isaac Asimov, best author in the world ever, wrote a book or series of books called Foundation, which basically just summarizes the fact that as human populations go into the billions stroke trillions of numbers, the human behavior becomes so mathematically predictable that you can actually plan out the whole of human history projected forward. So this is what the Foundation movement realized, was that there was an empire, basically a planetary, or rather a galaxy spanning empire, that was crumbling and fading because there was just, it was just predicted that the empire would fail. There'd be 10,000 years of darkness, blah blah blah, as humans rebuilt, and then there would be another great empire that would come through. And what the Foundation movement believed was that they could mathematically predict every single significant human step, not single individual human steps, but they could predict the entirety of the human race's future for over the next million years or so. And that's actually what the series of books is about. If you haven't read it, go read it. It's brilliant. It's some of the best books I've ever read. Plus, it's very good sci-fi. But in it is a character called the Mule, which was not predicted by the Foundation lists. It actually kind of caused a massive sinkhole in their plan of history. And what actually they were worried about was that this one person, this mule, this unusual mutant person who was so charismatic, capable, that he actually created a whole empire for himself. They thought that this would change the entire plan of humankind. It turned out that the mule was actually just an anomaly, an errata, something that just came from nowhere. But all of his impacts that he did that changed the Foundation plan were, once he died, put straight back. They eventually ebbed back to what the plan was. So fascinating stuff. You know, he kind of changed the plan, but only for a few hundred years, and it ended up with the plan going straight back on track anyway, because he was a blip, he was an error, an oddity, a mutant. And that's what I think the whole Kane Spiro piece is with PC, is that, yeah, he's created this kind of bandwagon where he's when it's all falling apart now from what I see, but you know, there was this kind of desire to kind of control and manipulate. So the irony is he is literally the mule. He wanted to do exactly what the mule wanted, which was to unite everybody and then be the overlord von general of them all. And so that's kind of a cool thing of it, but I think, you know, it would have been better if he hadn't been a goddamn CPM while he did this, because I just feel that, you know, what's ended up happening is, yeah, a lot of players come into this game, they learn the ropes, they join corps, and they join corps of their choosing. They don't want to be forced to join a particular corps. They pick who they go to. And it turns out that, you know, good 90% of the players of this game probably never end up doing PC, because it's just such a lockdown bullshit kind of thing, where there's an agreement, bandwagons, this and that. And I know that, you know, and there has been this wonderful desire to make PFCs, you know, Planetary Fight Club things, but that's ended up making it even more elitist, because now you have this kind of, you know, you have to actually ask permission to be given a planet that enters then the PFC realm. It's just total, utter, massive piles of steaming, bollocky horse shit that I just think, again, proves to you that human beings, when it comes to sandboxes, usually end up trying to be king of the hill. But if the sandbox is so poorly designed, it ends up not being a sandbox, and it ends up with a fun ride with one, you know, bastard right at the front of the queue, holding the ticker tape or the, you know, the gate controls. And that is what has happened. That's the idea, the glorious idea of a sandbox has been completely lost, because the mechanics of the game are so shittily locked down. You'd never get that. Oh my god, what am I talking about? A lot of you are thinking, and you're probably smashing your fists with rage at the screen or something. I don't know, but from my point of view, I don't really care. You know, I think it's kind of funny he did this. I find it very difficult to give much of a shit either about it. I think from my kind of weird point of view, PC was always just an absolute crying baby mechanic that, you know, for people who have lives and go touch boobs from time to time, could never really do anyway. So to me, it just became such a waste of, like, effort. I hated a game that tells me when to play. I hate everything about it, and I think I'll never return to that ever. But there are those that do, and there are those that want to enjoy PC, and I think this is pretty much where I think Legion will potentially come in. Legion, I hope, will be I think give the tools so you can get away from the kind of bullshit bollocks that comes through, and I think that, and I think ultimately will be its saving grace, because it will give you the ability to get away from very restrictive bollocks mechanics that seems to exist at the moment. The whole mule piece, I think, is a moot point as well. I think the CPM, I mean, people look to me often to say, you know, do a video about the CPM. Come on, let's knock their chair from under them. And it's like, dude, I don't even need to do anything about the CPM. They're doing a fucking good job of it themselves, killing themselves. And this is why I think, from my point of view, I'm curious to see what happens. I can't wait for CPM 1 elections to come, because I'm going to have such fun trolling the shit out of everybody. But don't think I'm going to be, you know, negative towards the process. I think we need a good CPM 1, but I'm also going to be quite honest with those that I think are just going to suck and be exact replicas of what we've got now. Something to look forward to. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.